In the final months of 2024, the basketball world was buzzing over yet another surprising twist in the ongoing saga of women's college hoops, and at the center of it all was Caitlin Clark, the unmistakable face of modern women's basketball, a player whose influence stretches far beyond any stat sheet, highlight reel, or record-breaking scoring streak. This story begins with the retirement of Lisa Bluer, a legendary figure whose presence had dominated Iowa basketball for years, and the departure of other familiar names, leaving the program in the hands of Jan Jensen, a coach stepping into enormous shoes, trying to maintain continuity while also forging a new path for the Hawkeyes. At the same time, Clark, now an established superstar with millions of social media followers and global recognition, found herself watching the college game from home in December, an ordinary Sunday afternoon that would quickly turn extraordinary. The Iowa Hawkeyes were facing Fairfield, a program that, despite not always being in the national spotlight, had proven itself over the previous seasons with a record that reflected both grit and consistency. 59 wins against just 5 losses, consecutive NCAA tournament appearances, and a defensive ranking in the top 25 nationally. This wasn't a situation where Iowa could expect to coast, and the intensity on the court was palpable from the opening tip. Taylor Strumlow, one of the rising defensive stars on the Iowa roster, found herself in the perfect position to make a game-changing play. A block so clean and perfectly timed it would have been celebrated anywhere, from a high school gym to the biggest NBA arena. In a split-second display of athleticism and defensive instinct, she denied an opponent with authority, and as the crowd erupted, she flexed her muscles, a natural expression of pride and adrenaline, a brief acknowledgement of the physical effort and skill it took to make that play. But in that same moment, an official blew the whistle, issuing a technical foul for what they perceived as excessive celebration. Suddenly, a moment of sheer athletic brilliance was marred by an arbitrary administrative decision, and the reaction from fans, commentators, and former players was swift and passionate. Caitlin Clark, scrolling through her phone and watching the game unfold in real time, couldn't believe what she was seeing. The technical foul seemed absurd not just to her, but to anyone who understood basketball as a sport driven by energy, intensity, and human emotion. She didn't hesitate. She called it out publicly on social media with unambiguous clarity, posting directly to her millions of followers and dismantling the official's decision in a manner that left no room for misinterpretation or denial. Her words resonated because they weren't just the complaints of a fan. They were the insights of someone who had lived the game at the highest level, someone who had endured similar frustrations firsthand during her own college career. Clark's post quickly went viral, igniting conversations about gender disparities in sports officiating, the policing of emotion, and the broader challenges facing women's basketball as it continues to fight for parity in respect, coverage, and appreciation compared to its male counterparts. The technical foul, trivial as it might seem in isolation, symbolized a deeper pattern, a systematic suppression of the expressive energy that makes basketball exciting to watch. Fans, longtime observers, and analysts alike recognized that the issue wasn't merely the call itself, but what it represented: the ongoing tension between athletic expression and a rigid, overly cautious approach to regulation, particularly in women's sports, where male players routinely display similar or even more intense emotion without consequence or rebuke. The incident with Strumlow and the ensuing reaction from Clark highlighted the stark contrast between the treatment of male and female athletes in comparable situations. The NBA, for instance, has long celebrated displays of passion, from finger wags to chest pumps, recognizing that part of the sport's appeal is its raw, human energy. In women's basketball, however, the same type of enthusiasm can be unfairly interpreted as unsportsmanlike conduct, and Clark's public critique brought this disparity into sharp relief, sparking debate across multiple platforms, from social media threads to mainstream sports talk shows. Clark's commentary wasn't a fleeting observation. It was a statement rooted in experience, credibility, and authority. She had faced similar criticisms herself, receiving technical fouls for showing emotion after crucial three-pointers or key plays, being labeled as too demonstrative, too fiery, or too intense, while male peers often received praise for identical behaviors. This disparity not only frustrated players, but also risked diluting the authenticity of the sport, as athletes were subtly encouraged to suppress natural reactions, creating a sanitized, less engaging experience for spectators. The timing of Clark's intervention was particularly significant. She was in the off-season, detached from the pressures and scrutiny of active competition, which allowed her to speak freely without fear of league sanctions or fines, a freedom that current players did not enjoy. Her voice carried weight precisely because she was not just another observer. She was the face of women's basketball, a player whose influence and reach could force a conversation that otherwise might have gone unnoticed or dismissed. The reaction was immediate and overwhelming. Fans flooded the comment section with support, sharing anecdotes of similar frustrations, expressing outrage at the perceived overreach of officials, and celebrating Clark's courage in addressing the issue publicly. Analysts dissected the play and the call, emphasizing how Stremlo's block was textbook defense, perfectly executed, and deserving of praise rather than penalty. Even Jan Jensen, Iowa's new head coach, appeared visibly perplexed in the broadcast footage, questioning the rationale behind the technical fall while trying to manage the team's focus amidst an obviously contentious moment. This convergence of events illuminated several layers of the ongoing struggle within women's basketball: the challenge of equitable officiating, the societal expectations placed on female athletes, and the broader cultural perception of emotional expression in sports. Clark's critique functioned as both a corrective lens and a rallying cry, encouraging fans, players, and officials alike to reconsider the standards by which athletic behavior is judged. The implications were far-reaching. By highlighting the double standard in real time, Clark was not only defending the integrity of a single play, but also addressing the structural inequities that influence how female athletes experience their sport. Her post became a case study in advocacy, visibility, and the power of leveraging personal influence to promote fairness. It underscored the essential truth that sports are not merely about points, wins, or statistics. They're about human expression, emotion, and engagement, all of which are critical to both the enjoyment and the legitimacy of competition. Moreover, the incident prompted reflection on the evolution of basketball culture, drawing comparisons between historical moments in men's sports, such as Dikembe Mutombo's iconic finger wag, which became a beloved cultural phenomenon celebrated in commercials and media campaigns, and the contemporary policing of similar behavior in women's basketball. The juxtaposition was stark. Gestures that were once iconic, marketable, and embraced in men's basketball were simultaneously being punished in women's games, revealing a persistent, systemic undervaluing of female athletes' expressive freedom. The broader implications extended to media coverage, fan engagement, and the ongoing effort to elevate women's sports to the same cultural relevance and respect afforded to men's sports. Clark's post was, therefore, not just a critique but a strategic intervention, a moment that harnessed her platform to catalyze discourse on equity, recognition, and the essential vibrancy that comes from allowing athletes to fully inhabit their competitive spirit. In the days that followed, the discussion continued to ripple across sports communities, with commentators, fans, and fellow athletes weighing in on the necessity of permitting emotional expression as an integral part of competition. The dialogue extended beyond a single technical foul, touching on broader issues of representation, media narratives, and the importance of validating female athletes' experiences on the same terms as their male counterparts. Clark's bold stand resonated precisely because it was rooted in authenticity. She wasn't speaking from theory or conjecture. She was speaking from lived experience, both as a former collegiate competitor subjected to similar judgments and as a current influencer whose platform could amplify concerns in ways that traditional advocacy often could not. Ultimately, the event serves as a microcosm of larger societal dynamics, reflecting ongoing tensions in gender, authority, and the negotiation of space for female athletes to express themselves fully and without undue restriction. Clark's intervention, therefore, represents not just a reaction to a technical foul, but a deliberate, principled effort to assert the value of visibility, passion, and emotional authenticity in women's sports, challenging entrenched norms and setting a precedent for future discourse. It is a testament to the transformative power of one individual using their influence strategically, highlighting the intersection of skill, platform, and advocacy, and reminding audiences that the essence of sport is as much about the human spirit as it is about the scoreboard. Through her actions, Caitlin Clark reaffirmed her role not merely as a basketball player, but as a cultural leader, a voice for equity, and a beacon for athletes navigating the complex interplay of performance, emotion, and recognition, ensuring that a single block, a simple flex, and the passion behind it could spark a movement toward fairness, understanding, and authentic celebration in women's basketball.